There it is. Done. The finisher, the rinser, the cleanser. In the bag. I'm ready. All wayward thought, negative energy, chaotic frequencies, absolutely expunged, expelled, extinguished. And now we can talk coming from a place right here in the heart, all credibility, all integrity. And let it pour out of me as the Ruach HaKodesh, the breath of Yahuwah, fills me with his healing light, his healing energy, and his healing love, which is unshakable. Unshakable. We talked yesterday about the substance of things hoped for. We talked about how the evidence of things unseen is faith, and how that faith is the solid foundation that all else is built on, that has weight, that has character, that has strength, that has foundation. It is real, it is the real. This illusion, this hallucination is ephemeral and it is temporary, and it is nothing. It is nothing in the grand scheme of thing. What we see here is just a mirage. And the only thing that you can count on is the unshakable nature of the kingdom. For he said once more, as Paul talks about in Hebrews 12, that all things will be shaken. Not only the earth, but the heavens will be shaken by Yahuwah, such that all things which are not made of his hand will be removed. All that is left is the unshakable nature of his kingdom, of the steadfast true nature of his kingdom, of his promise to us, of his faith in us. That is real. That is concrete. And again, as we spoke yesterday, the substance, the weight, the core, the base reality, the structure that can be leaned on, that can be built upon, that is rock solid, is faith. The evidence of those things unseen, the substance of those things hoped for. It is faith. And in delivering that faith to you, that which you have for Yahuwah, you know you have the one real thing that can never be taken away, that can never be shaken, that can never be stopped, because his faith in you is unshakable, such as our faith in him is unshakable. And it is from this which all things can be built, because it is the only thing you can count on in this ephemeral world, in this temporary illusion that we inhabit as nothing more than a test and a challenge to rise to overcome, and to do with honor and credibility and integrity, and in his way, his truth, his life, which is simple, which is not some grand mystery that you need the yogis and the magi and the wise men and the holy men and the rabbis and the priests and all of the gurus and the mentors that want to preach to you, that want to sell you something, that either want your money, your possessions, or they want to yoke your will to them so they can control you. You don't need the word of man, the interpretation of man. You simply need the one commandment, which encapsulates all commandments. You simply need the teachings of Yahuwah, Yahusha, the Most High, who breathes life, and the Son, the Messiah, the perfect Lamb of Yahuwah, he who saves, he who redeems, he who delivers. He's given us the teachings. He's given us the word. He's given us the way, the truth, and the life. And so we have to do the work. We have to nurture our hearts and our souls with the good news, with the with his parables, with his phrases, with his teachings. He's given it to us, not for any man to interpret to us. Don't be fooled. There is no gateway to the Father except through the Son. The only way to know Abba, to know the Most High, to know Yahuwah, is to receive the Son, to receive Hamashiach, and then you receive the promise of the kingdom, which is unshakable. But everything that is built here, in this illusion, in this mirage, this will let you down. This will disappoint you. This will cause anxiety. This will cause frustration. Putting your blood, sweat, and tears into this false reality, buying into it, such that you give this the substance, such that you give this the honor of building your trust and your belief in, building your trust upon and your belief in, you are rendered asunder in doing so, because this illusion is ruled by the father of lies. This illusion is ruled by the father of filth. This illusion is ruled by Hashatan, Lucifer, Satan, the demons of this world. The devil incarnate rules this planet and creates this illusion and lures you and tempts you with all manner of baubles and sparkly jewels and distractions and diversions to mesmerize you, to hypnotize you, to sway you and persuade you down a path of destruction, because the evil ones of this world, they gain joy and happiness at your destruction and your doom, in your suffering and your pain. And they don't come to you and sell you pain and suffering. They come to you and sell you a song and a dance, a Pied Piper's dream, which is really a nightmare. It starts out as a dream. It's all beautiful and wonderful. It's all full of promises of treasure and wealth and riches and the accoutrements of the luxury lifestyle and the comforts of this world and all of the decadence and indulgence and depravity that comes with it. And it's cheap thrills, cheap highs, cheap titillation that you seek, that you search for, because you are of the flesh and you are in the flesh, and so you're being tempted by the flesh. And all of the distraction that inhabits your eyes, not your inner eye, not your heart, not your soul, not what is true, but what you are fooled by, this illusion. And the illusion is magnificent. The illusion is fantastic. The illusion is surreal, such that it sucks you in and has you coming out the other side torn to pieces, your soul crushed, your heart broken, your will decimated, because over time you allowed yourself to be bled to death by these demons, and 1,000 cuts in their indulgences, their temptations, and their lust, and their greed, and jealousy, and envy that have been put upon you as the substance of this world, as the emotions you cannot control. When in Yahushua HaMashiach, the Messiah who saves us, He has given us the way out. He has given us the formula. He's given us the instructions. He's given us the blueprint. He's given us the epiphany. He's given us the revelation. He's given us the promise that should we, and this is it, this everything, and I might be saying it, for all I know, I might be saying it in every single message that I do, over and over, hundreds of times. The promise is made manifest in loving Yahuwah with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength. And if we love Him, we'll follow His commandments. If we love Him, we are faithful. If we love Him, we believe. How could you not? You love Him with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And we love our fellow man as we love ourselves. And in nurturing ourselves, we can nurture our fellow man. And in nurturing our fellow man, we're nurturing ourselves. And we're honoring Yahuwah, because we're honoring the physical nature, the hardware that He gave us, which houses the Ruach, His breath, which lives within us, which when we are saved, He bestows within us the Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, the set-apart Spirit lives within us and guides us on that path to righteousness, to kingdom come, the kingdom which is unshakable. As He shakes the heaven and the earth in the coming judgment, everything that is man-made, every tradition, every rule, every regulation of man, wiped away, destroyed, removed. Only that remains is his faith in us as we are faithful in him, his promise to us as we have promised him that we will love him with all our heart, soul, mind, and strength. We will have all faith and belief in him, and we will love our fellow men as we love ourselves. In faith we are saved. And in doing so, you now have the one real thing you've ever had in your life. You have the one thing you can count on at all times, in all way, in all manner, in all fashion. You have the one thing that you can rely on no matter what's happening in your life. Good times, bad times, again, all ephemeral. Everything evaporates. It just, everything that was so important to you a week ago, you don't even remember today. The one thing that is true in your life is the way, the truth, and the life. It's the one thing, and he gives it to you. It is bestowed upon you, your birthright. It is woven into your DNA and your genetic code. It costs you nothing. It costs you nothing but to receive him. But to receive him. And who would not want to receive him but the most evil, foul, defiled of beings, who would not want to be healed, to be loved, to be filled with everlasting joy, everlasting peace, and everlasting life in the kingdom, in paradise, in Eden, restored. Who would not want that? Except those who seek your destruction and your defilement and your debasement, so that they may live, because misery loves company. But the angels sing, one sinner repents, which is why Yahusha will chase his one lost sheep and leave his flock behind, his faithful flock behind, and he will chase one lost sheep to the ends of the earth and beyond, because one sheep redeemed, one lost sheep found, one sinner that comes to Yahusha Mashiach, and the angels sing. It is the one thing you can build upon in this so-called life. Because this is not the life. This is death. This is perishing. We perish in this life. Everything in this life, everything you do, everything you strive for, everything you hunger for, everything you long for, everything you thirst for, with it never being enough. Clawing, scratching, cannibalizing, fighting, conquering, claiming dominion over all, manipulating, trying to control every circumstance, every variable, every environment, every person you come into contact with, conniving, contriving, crafting, just so that you can get one morsel of bread. Esau sold himself for one morsel of meat, such that he did not claim his birthright. But in all faith, we trade nothing for the promise. We trade nothing for his faith in us. We trade nothing for his salvation. Because again, it is the one, it is the rod, the staff, which supports us. It is the guide which keeps us true to the straight and narrow path that leads to the straight and narrow gate into the kingdom to come, the promise that we have been given, for the promise we have made, for his salvation, for the belief and the faith in Yahuwah, such that we wear his armor and are impervious, impregnable, impenetrable to the spears, the slings, the arrows of the evil ones, the evil whisperers, the psychic vampires, negative influencers, haters, and detractors that want to tear us down, no more so than ourselves and our own self-hatred, for all that we've done, for all that we've wrought, for all the wretch that we are, for what we've committed on this planet in living by the sweat of our brow, being cast out of Eden, believing we needed to buy into Hashatan and the lies and the decadence and depravity, such that we would flood ourselves with this. If we were going to be condemned to this earth, then we would live with all the pleasures of this earth, because they tell us, live like there's no tomorrow. Live as if it's your last day. It is not. We have everlasting life. But that is the trick of Satan, the father of lies. That we should deprave ourselves and defile ourselves in alcohol, in drugs, in pornography, in absolute decadence and depravity and hedonism and pleasure-seeking and gluttony. such that we thumb our nose at the Most High, such that we rebel against the Most High, such if we have to roam this earth, such that we reject and turn our backs on the Most High. When it was our fault that we were cast out. Such is the evil that we are. But in the same, his love for us is so total. His love for us is so incomprehensible. His love for us is so complete that even with all of our atrocities, even with all of our rejection, even with all of the times we've created false idols, worshiped false gods, all the times we've rebelled against him, all of it, he still makes covenant after covenant after covenant with us, giving us opportunities to come to him, to know his love, to know his protection, to know his healing. The covenant with Noah, the covenant with Abraham, the covenant with Moses, the covenant with Yahushua HaMashiach for us, the living law, the new covenant written on our souls, no longer written in stone where it is dead, where it perishes, where it fades, where the only reason that we follow the law is because it reveals our sin, it reveals condemnation, it reveals punishment. And so out of fear, out of begrudgingly, with indignation, we follow. Why? Because we fear punishment. Not because we have joy to follow, not because we honor him to follow, not because it is a privilege to follow. No, we follow the old law, the old traditions, because we fear punishment. And that law is for the unbelievers, the unfaithful. The new law, the living law, that which he wrote on our hearts, lives with us forever, such that his love, which is emblazoned on our heart, the Ruach, which lives within us after we've been saved, after we've accepted Yahushua HaMashiach as our Savior, as our Redeemer, fills us with the Ruach. In all sin we are redeemed and forgiven. It is forgotten, is put away, and we have new life. We are reborn once again. And that law now reveals the commandment. It reveals the path to the kingdom to come. And because it is written on our hearts, we follow it naturally, with joy. We follow it naturally, in honor. As a privilege, we follow it. The commandment, which reveals all hope, all love, all healing, all peace, all solace. It reveals everlasting life. Love Yahuwah with all our heart, souls, minds, and strength, and love our fellow man as we love ourselves. Nurture our fellow man as we nurture ourselves. Build ourselves up so we can build our fellow man up. Live as an example for our fellow man who may be now where we once were, depraved, decadent, defiled, debased, in pain, suffering, addicted to drugs, addicted to alcohol, wandering aimlessly, seeking meaning, seeking purpose, being hopeless. They see the Ruach, the breath of his life in us, such that they see us alive for the first time ever, that they know that if we can live as we now live, with a righteous heart, no longer in despair and sorrow, no longer frustrated, anxious, no longer tearing ourselves to pieces, but full of life, full of hope, full of encouragement, full of motivation, full of inspiration, then they know too that there's a way out for them, that they can have this redemption and deliverance into the kingdom to come, and that they can walk the path with us. It is the one true thing that you can find in your life. Asking him to fill your heart with the Ruach, with the breath of Yahuwah, the Most High, he who breathes life, he who brings into existence, he who creates. All praise to Yahuwah, all love to Yahuwah, all glory to Yahuwah, all honor to Yahuwah. Our bodies are weak, but in Yahuwah they are strong. Our will is weak, but in Yahuwah our will is rock solid. It is true and strong. Our faith in him is unmovable and unshakable, as his faith in us is unmovable and unshakable as the promise is in receiving his salvation, in receiving his redemption. And we pray that his will is done on us, that it is done in our heart. It is his will that now guides us through the Ruach, through the breath, through the light that absolutely bursts forth from us, such that it beams the way to the kingdom to come, such that others can see it and follow that example, because they want to be found They want his love. They no longer want to be cast out. They don't want to be bereft and empty and soulless. They want a warm, loving, healed heart. Because all they've been chasing, all we've been chasing our whole life is some way to fill, to heal that deep chasm that has torn our hearts and souls wide open since birth. Only now finding it. And it doesn't matter when you come to it, when you find it, so long as you do, because the instant you knock on that door, he answers immediately because he lives within us. He lives within you. Lest you wait to the end of days and you cross over and you knock on that door then, when now it was so easy then, because you were misled, because you were deceived, because you bought into the lies of this earth, because you were evil, because you were depraved, because you were decadent, because you didn't want to give up the cheap thrills, the cheap highs, the cheap titillation. And you knock on that door when you cross over, and you hear the worst thing you'll ever hear. I knew you not. And that door will be close to you. And beyond that door, you will hear the joy. You will hear the singing of the angels. You will hear the singing of the saved. You will hear the praises to Yahuwah, the most beautiful music you could ever imagine as it fades away, as you hear, I knew you not, over and over and over. And that voice fades and it fades and it fades. So you no longer hear it. When now you hear it loud and clear. It's your conscience ringing out to you. It's the signal from Yahuwah beckoning you to come to him. Beckoning you to come to Yahusha, Yahuwah manifested in the flesh, so that you can be saved and you can knock on that door now, where you don't have to hammer on it, where you don't have to bang on it. You just simply knock. It's as easy as that. Ask him to enter your life, and he fills you, floods you like a tsunami with his healing love, his healing energy, his healing light, his living water, such that you never thirst, and you eat for the first time ever of the bread of life, such that you feel a life you could have never imagined, and you have in your heart sown, carved, written, emblazoned with all light and beauty. The new covenant now. Seek and you find. Ask and you receive. Here, now, while there's time. While there's time. The one true thing, the promise, the faith, the kingdom. Let us walk in that faith that is unmovable and unshakable. Let us march on that path which is emblazoned with his love and his light, as it is emblazoned and beams brightly over us and heals us in all ways and bursts forth from us and heals us from the inside and bursts out so that others can see the light, and is emblazoned on that path as we move with incredible speed and grace and strength, unrelenting, unceasing, unstoppable, unconquerable, undividable, undefeatable, and unassailable to kingdom come.